Hi everyone, we're coming to you on Facebook because we're unable to deliver a 10 o'clock news tonight. We're so sad about it, but we've had some of the strangest, most unusual circumstances that prevent us from being on television right now.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the basics here. Power went out about 7:15 downtown, and along with 19,000 XL Energy customers, we had no power. Now, as about 9 o'clock, 11,000 people are still without power. We do have a generator, but then we ran into some mechanical issues, which is why we can't come to you live on TV.
Yeah. And we had severe weather. That
Obviously,
wasn't primarily the cause here. Things were just soggy, basically, across the Twin Cities. The severe weather was mainly across southern Minnesota. I haven't used a map like this since third grade, but here it goes. The storms basically all hit to the south. We clearly got soaked with a lot of rain. We had 1.4 inches of rain, guys, at the airport. The daily record was 1.88. I didn't think we'd come close. We did, but all night long I was watching the severe weather that popped just south of New Ulm. St. James was one of the first reports we had of a funnel cloud being spotted. Comfrey, you remember 1998, that still remains the longest track tornado we've had in Minnesota. So people down there nervous, I get it. And we had multiple tornado reports basically from the same line of storms that hit Waseca. They also hit Winnebago and Wells and Janesville, all those communities. National Weather Service will certainly be busy tomorrow out there assessing what kind of storm damage there was. That on top of the flooding threat we had, which fortunately really didn't materialize, but we were getting rainfall reports of 3 to 4 inches back in Alexandria, pushing all the way toward the Twin Cities, and mainly the severe weather, the wind damage, and tornadoes to the south. Good news, the dew point has dropped down to 57 degrees.
It's like fall out there.
It's like fall. Yeah, it has definitely cooled down, and we're talking about highs in the 70s for the next possible 8 days. If that happens, that'll be the longest cool stretch we've had so far this summer, and we won't have the humidity and only one more shot of rain. That would basically be Wednesday night, and that looks like some scattered showers, certainly nothing severe like we dealt with tonight.
Tonight, though, everyone's out of the danger zone?
Yeah, there's a tornado watch that still remains in extreme southeastern Minnesota, but the line is cleared. It's just a matter of time till National drops it. But everything is pushed out of here, and we did expect severe storms to the south. We were talking about that back when we had power. And then the storms hit right where they thought we would, where we thought they would, and then moved out rather quickly.
I know that David Schumann has been running along. He was in the storm chaser today. And David, where were you? Come on in.
Yeah, I'm gonna come on in here. I don't think I'll use the same map as Chris, but yeah. So all these storms that Chris was just talking about they really brought out the storm chasers, right? Southern Minnesota. They came from Iowa, and I wish we had them right now to show you at home. But we saw so many videos and pictures of funnel clouds and trees blown over by the wind. This is from Chris. He told me before, train spotters reported tornadoes in St. James, in Winnebago, just west of WCCO, which you just mentioned. We also saw some crazy video of what certainly looked like a tornado near Darfur. And I spoke to a man tonight named Jeremiah Peters, and he goes by JP Midwest Storm Chaser. He said he had a hunch. He got in the car with his son after work, and he just started driving. And he thankfully did not see too much damage from the storms, but he got some really stunning pictures near St. James, and he told me that it's just an adrenaline rush to have this intense hobby of his. And I happened to actually just watch the movie Twister for the very first time this week, and yeah, so I mean that's exaggerated probably, but it is an intense thing, and he just gets a real rush out of it. He said he hopes to make a career out of this one day. That's kind of his dream. And as you said, we will be expecting more information about all these storms from the National Weather Service when they get out there and do their surveys.
And knock on wood, we'll have power in the morning for our morning show. We'll show JP's pictures.
Exactly.
All the folks.
Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff
for breakfast.
We'll have it online hopefully as soon as we can.
All right.
So thanks, guys.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Thanks, David. You know, I was just wanted to mention we tried extraordinarily hard, and one of the cool things that happened tonight, even though it's not cool to do with the news like this, there's 30 people in the station who left their homes and their families and raced back down here, and electricians on the way, and our engineering staff, and everyone from our boss on down that was just trying so hard to get the show on the air. And I just want to make sure we acknowledge all those good people, that our WCCO family that always rallies when things
True
get
teamwork
tough.
here. Yeah. Our other big story today, we're talking about who will Kamala Harris pick as her vice president. And of course, there are 6 candidates Governor Tim Walz being one of them. Kirsten Mitchell joins us right now. So Kirsten, you've been following this story, right? And was there a fundraiser or something tonight?
Yeah, there was a private fundraiser tonight for Kamala Harris that Governor Tim Walz attended, and that was kind of a big deal because he's been kind of MIA the past few days, a little bit quieter than usual, and we know that he was in D.C. interviewing with the vice president for this position, so we know he's a top contender. But we did see him tonight. He left his St. Paul residence and went over to that fundraiser in Minneapolis. It was a private one, so the media, we weren't allowed to bring in any cameras or take any photos, but we were in there and heard some of his speech, and what he said really didn't drop any bombshells. We were kind of hoping we'd get some more
Get
hints
something.
tonight,
Yeah, right.
but he kind of kept to the script there, and he praised Kamala Harris for, he says, adding more enthusiasm into the race and saying that the Democrats have a lot of work to do and there's only 92 days left. So we heard from him tonight, and then we saw him head out shortly after. So there's about 350 people there. It was a pretty loud crowd and a lot of excitement. A lot of people there want him to be the pick tomorrow, and we hopefully will find out tomorrow. That's what everyone is saying.
Tomorrow morning, isn't she supposed to announce it?
Right.
And he certainly has picked up a lot of traction in the last week or so because he was talking about using the word weird, and that's just
Yeah.
been going viral. And actually, a lot of his videos on his social media has gone viral.
Yeah,
A lot of it. So-
yeah, and people saying, we talked to Abu Amara, also he's a Democratic analyst, and he was saying Governor Tim Walz, he's getting a lot of more notice lately
Yes.
for those viral moments, but also just for being kind of folksy and Midwestern. They think that's going to connect with a lot of people, so we'll have to see if that is what also Vice President Kamala Harris thinks.
Yeah, be an interesting
Certainly
day for sure.
interesting. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Good to
thanks,
see you,
Kirsten.
Kirsten.
And now we have,
We saved the best for last.
we did. Look who's here. The man, the legend, Maxie. Okay, do we need to play
You
music
want
while
to
you
talk
walk
some sports,
in?
could
Yeah.
you please?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, Maxie? What's
Well,
going on in the
Twins
sports
played
world?
tonight in Chicago against the Chicago Cubs in Northside, and they won their 5th straight game. So that's pretty
Wow.
good. David Festa threw 5 innings, struck out 80. He was outstanding. Young rookie. Looks like he's got some potential. Manuel Margot hit a home run. Royce Lewis had an RBI, as has been his cause the last several weeks when he's healthy. So the Twins have won 5 straight. They'll play again tomorrow. Pablo Lopez pitches, and then coming up on Friday, Cleveland, the best team in the big leagues, and unfortunately ahead of the Twins in the standings, will come to town. So it'll get real interesting by the end of the week. Now the Vikings had already called off their public scrimmage tonight. They were supposed
Which
to
is
have
smart,
yeah,
right?
They do that every year. They're going to do it next Monday instead because of what we'd forecasted in terms of rain and storm. The only real piece of news coming out of there is Jordan Addison, their talented second-year receiver, has been charged with 2 misdemeanors for driving, possible suspicion of driving under the influence in California, where he was found sleeping at the wheel of a Rolls Royce on the freeway. So they at least are getting some clarity on his situation. People say up to 3 game suspension, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see on that, but at least they're moving it forward, and he's starting to understand on a couple different fronts what happened out there and
The
what he needs,
seriousness of it,
what he
yeah.
needs to change in his life. Olympic updates: Suni Lee fell off the beam today, unfortunately. So too did Simone Biles, and they tied for 5th on the beam simply because she fell, but she medaled 3 times, including a gold as a team out there.
It's
And-
amazing.
Yeah, it's been an amazing run. Yeah, and
Yeah,
to see her come
it
back
is.
and do all those things. Simone Biles was outstanding. So it didn't end the way that they wanted, but she was very grateful in her post-game interviews, handled herself with just great dignity and class throughout. Tomorrow, USA basketball team plays against Brazil. They're the number 1 seed. Anthony Edwards coming off a 26-point game, so all of a sudden he's starting to really make himself known on a national and I guess international stage. So they'll play tomorrow, go for football practices tomorrow, go for volleyball as media day tomorrow, so we'll be covering a number of events tomorrow.
That's
Fun.
exciting. Is anybody competitive with the USA basketball and men's basketball team?
Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. I mean, there's still a couple of unbeaten teams there, but when you look at the rosters and where they stack up, it shouldn't be. And the women's team as well, they've won like 59 straight games in the Olympics, so nobody beats them. The men's team has been upset a couple of times in the past, but you just don't see anybody that's, especially now, when they start to focus and they go, okay, now it's about the gold, and we're that close, and they play unselfish, it's like nothing you've ever seen, you know?
We'll find out.
Yeah, been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Maxie. Yeah, thanks to all of you too. You know, here at WCCO, we really like to set the standard and what we do in broadcasting, engineering, everything. And our backup systems have a backup system that has a backup system. So to have a catastrophic failure like this is really, really unusual. And we're sorry, but at least want to try to bring you a little something.
Absolutely. Before we go, I want to check in one more time with Chris.
Oh,
yes.
Chris, come on in.
Chris, you have some drawings?
Yes.
Usually we
Can
show
you do
the
7 day?
yeah.
I'll do 7 day for you. if
Well,
you like.
it's
Yeah.
again, Maxie, can you hold that for me? Okay, here we go. We're going to have highs in the 70s tomorrow, much less humid, not only here in the Twin Cities, but also up in northern Minnesota. A very uniform feel. Western Wisconsin, you'll have the clouds hold on the longest, but sunshine tomorrow. By Wednesday, showers are possible in northern Minnesota with a front swinging through that could bring us some showers late. And then it stays dry and sunny into the weekend. Guys, we could string together like a week with highs in the 70s. It's going to
That's
feel
crazy.
fall-like and comfortable.
Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for us, right?
I believe so.
I believe so. We will see you tomorrow here live because I'm sure it's going to be fixed by then.
It's all
Definitely
going to be
the
fixed. Our
will
morning
be
show
here.
will be here, and they'll be roaring
Keep
ready
you up
to
to
go
date.
for sure.
Thanks for joining us.